This week's parsha, Parshas Mikeitz, the Torah tells us about Paro's dreams. And Yosef was drafted to interpret these nightmares, these dreams that Paro was having. And one of the dreams, Pasuk says, Perek Mem Aleph, Pasuk Chavtes, Hinei Sheva Shanim, okay, the Sheva Shibolim, there were these stalks of wheat, and the other ones ate up the first ones, and Yosef comes and he interprets the dream, and he says that this means that there are going to be 7 years of sava, of a time that you're going to be satiated, there's going to be plenty, there's going to be lots of abundance of food. Gadol b'chol eretz Mitzrayim, b'kamu sheva shnei ra'av achrein. After that, it's going to be followed by 7 years of famine. V'nishkach kol hasava be'eretz Mitzrayim, and it's going to be forgotten the entire first 7 years of good, of bounty. It's going to be out. V'chila harav es haaretz, and it's going to, the famine is going to be all over the land. And at the end of his interpretation, the pasuk says that Yosef decides to add in a piece of advice. The Ramban says this was actually part of the interpretation of the dream because it's really out of place. But the simple explanation of the pasuk is that Yosef comes to add something on here, and he says, "V'ata yirei Paro, Paro, you should, be very careful. Ish navon v'chacham. You have to find a very wise man. V'shisei Eretz Mitzrayim, and put him in charge of Eretz Mitzrayim, so that he could make sure that in the second section of 7 years, you're going to be okay." Now, this is irrelevant, right? All Yosef had to do was interpret the dream. The dream said there's going to be 7 good years, and then followed by 7 good bad years. Why did Yosef have to add in a piece of advice at the end to say, and by the way, you should find an ish navon v'chacham? Okay? Then a few psukim later, Perek Mem Aleph Pasuk Lametes, Paro says, "Vayom Paro Yosef, acharei hodia Elokim oscha es kozos." Since it was Hashem, it was God who let you know all of this information. He gave you this power to interpret the dreams. Ein avon v'chacham kamocha. You're the guy. You're hired. I know you weren't interviewing for the job, but you are now the official person that's going to be in charge of all of the economy of the land of Egypt. Now this is extremely strange because Yosef is being very practical. 7 years of food, 7 years of no food. The person that should be in charge of such a massive project should be someone that understands agriculture, right? He should know how to harvest, he should know how to store, the proper temperatures that you need to have in the storehouses. That's the type of guy you want. But all of a sudden, Paro, because Hashem gave him this wisdom, gave Yosef this wisdom, he says, okay, you are the guy. And in fact, we find later on, in Perek Mem Aleph Pasuk Nun Hey, that for the Egyptians that stored all the tevuah, all the wheat, etc., it didn't work out for them. All their stuff was rotten, except for Yosef's. Like Yosef actually won. His stuff was able to stay strong and kept good. So the whole story is a little bit funny. So really what we see over here is as follows. Why would you need a navon and a chacham? So what Yosef is really saying is that the nature of the human being, okay, and unfortunately there's our nature also because we're human beings, okay? Our nature is that we always look at like what's right in front of us. Okay, we look at the mitzias, the reality. We look at statistics. We look at scientific findings. People see archaeology, and they say, oh, this is the way it looked. This is how long the world was. This is what things take. We look at science to tell us what is happening. We very much look at what is in front of our eyes, and based on that, we act. So for example, let's say someone like plopped you down into some mansion, okay, and he says, look, you're going to live here for 7 years. And whatever you want, whenever you want food, that you get that. Whatever you ever drink you want a swimming pool, tennis courts, whatever it is that you want, you're going to get for 7 years. Okay? So you're sitting there and it's coming. And day one, you're like, wow, this is amazing. And I have 7 more years of this. So no one would ever think, again, according to our nature, no one would think on day one, when you have 7 years left, to say, maybe I should save a piece of chicken. Let me just save one piece of chicken in the freezer, because in 7 years from now, I'm going to be running out. Your friend will tell you, you have 7 years left. Like, buddy, don't worry about it. Like, you could indulge today. And day 2, you'd probably do the exact same thing. And after year 1, you have 6 years left. Like, you're going to start saving chicken now? Plenty of time, plenty of time. The nature of a human being is that we just look what's in front of our eyes, we take it at face value, and we operate based on that. Yosef said, the only way the land of Mitzrayim is going to be able to survive is if you don't take a normal guy to look over the economy. You need someone that's a chacham. Mishnah tells us, Ezehu chacham. Who is a chacham? Haroa es hanolad. Someone who sees what's going to come from what you have in front of you. It's the person that's able to look past my immediate sphere, my Dalet Amos, and say, there's going to be an issue over here. I better start saving up today. I better start planning today to figure out what's going to be later on. It's someone that could see that, yeah, okay, I see archaeology this way, but tomorrow archaeology could show us something totally different, and it could shed light on what it is today. There are a lot of questions on what I see today. It's not crystal clear. Or just because I have X, Y, or Z, maybe Hashem didn't give it to me to use today. Hashem gave me my smarts. Hashem gave me my ability to learn in Eretz Yisrael. Hashem gave me my clothing. Hashem gave me my family. Hashem gave me my money. Whatever matanos, all the presents, the bracha that Hashem gives us on a day-to-day basis, the Chacham says, there must have been a reason that I got these things. It wasn't for me just to use today and enjoy. There's a purpose. There's a charge that Hashem gives me in order to be able to fill my life's mission, let's say. It's someone that's able to take a step back and look beyond. So Yosef says that if we just leave this to a regular guy, and the guy could be a financial genius, but the whole country is going to go down the tubes. Because the person's going to look at these 7 years, and day 1 he's going to start throwing a party, and day 2, and day 3, and year 1, and year 2. Yeah. At year 5 he's going to start saying, I have only 2 more years in office. We better start planning for the next 7 years, and then it's going to be too late. But a chacham, this person who's roes hanolad, is able to see a little bit past what's right in front of him. That's built on navon, bina. Bina means someone who's maven davar mitoch davar. He's able to go ahead and look at what he has and build off of it for something in the future. That's the person that's going to be able to save you. And that's why Paro responded, well, I see that Hashem is giving you this knowledge, meaning there's a spiritual element to what's going on in your thought process. You're not just this practical, whatever's in front of me, that's what I do. There's something beyond that. There's spirituality. Everything about spirituality is above and beyond the nature of the world. And I see that that's the type of person that's needed over here. It's someone that sees a bigger picture. It's someone that sees the ramifications of our actions. It's someone that sees life with a purpose. Oh, that's the guy that I need to run the show. Yeah, you could hire a COO who will manage the storehouses, but I need you to be the visionary. I need you to be the person that's able to look at something beyond what's going on in front of us. Otherwise, we're just going to use up all our resources and everything's going to fall apart. And this is a very important lesson in our own lives, because we all are living during a certain amount of time. Life's not endless. And we have tremendous, tremendous brachos in our lives, every single one of us. The brachos come in different packages, but we all have a lot. And we have to think, what is the purpose of everything that we have today? Like the Mesilas Yesharim says, a person is a fool if he thinks that everything that he was given for today was for today. We have eternity, Olam Haba, a spiritual existence that is above and beyond the nature of this world. And if a person takes all the brachos that they have and they put it into play, they don't waste their time, they don't waste their money, they don't waste their smarts, they don't waste their energy, they don't waste their youthfulness. They go ahead and they say, I'm going to maximize this, I'm going to build, I'm going to grow, I'm going to develop, I'm going to produce. They see above and beyond what's right in front of their faces. That's the person that's going to be the successful Jew, the successful human being. It's something that we always have to strive for, to be that person that's a navon and a chacham. We're about to embark on the very, very special Yontiv of Chanukah. And we sing the Maoz Tzur after we light the candles. And the sections of Maoz Tzur, most of them, have nothing to do with Chanukah. It's a question for another time, why we sing it after we light the candles. But the one section that we speak about Chanukah, Yevanim Nikbetzu Alai, talks about how the Greeks came and they tried to take us over. And we won, and what happened? B'nai Bina Yemei Shmona Kavu Shir Ananim. The B'nai Bina, the people of Bina, of understanding, of wisdom, they were the ones who set the holiday of Chanukah. It's so strange. Like, why don't you say the rabbis or the Hashmonaim? Like, what the highlight? Again, it's a 3-sentence stanza. We highlight it's the B'nai Bina. It's these people that have understanding that they were the ones that went ahead and set the Yontiv of Chanukah. What's that highlighting? So I saw it from Reb Chaim Yitzchak Kaplan Shlita. He's Mashgiach of the Chevron Yeshiva. He said it's exactly this idea that we see in this week's Parsha. It's that what was the holiday of Chanukah was all about the Yevanim coming along and saying, I don't get it. Like, you don't need bris milah, a supernatural existence. You don't need Shabbos, a supernatural existence. Rosh Chodesh, well, that's just a calendar day, like the supernatural existence. The Shemen, the menorah, all these things of spirituality, of something above and beyond what we just see. The Yevanim, what motivated them, what gave them their energy, the Greeks, was philosophy, was wisdom of what you see is what you get. If you build up your body very, very in a strong way, so now you are strong. There's nothing beyond the body. There's nothing beyond what we see. There's nothing beyond what you could actually think in your brain. Torah, wisdom, spirituality, connecting to Hashem through Torah. What is that? Like, I can't see that. I can't quantify that. We got to stop that. No Torah learning. We got to stop all these things. But the B'nai Bina, the people that understood and say, no, there's something much more to life. It's not just about the size of our biceps. It's not just about going ahead and living and indulging and living in this world. It's about something way beyond. It's about spirituality. It's about thinking about the future, about what's going to be in the world to come. It's about investing in that. It's about using all of our brachos in order for us to achieve ultimate perfection. So they're the ones who kavu shmona yemei Chanukah. They were the ones to set the 8th day. The number 8, the Maral says, means above nature. 7 days of the week. 7 days is considered nature. 7 days the world was created. 7 days has this name Sheva. Pachad Yitzchak says it's the same as Soveya. It means I'm saturated, I'm full, I'm complete. Like, what I see is what I get. And Shmona from the word Shmeina, which means above weight, overweight. It's above and beyond the Shmona, the 8. 8 is supernatural. We're going to have a supernatural holiday. We're going to have a supernatural Yemei Chanukah because we're looking above and beyond what we have in this world. So as we plan, you have to, anytime you go into a holiday, you can't just like plop yourself in there and start eating the donuts. You have to plan. That's why they start selling the donuts way before, to help us plan. Okay, the Baruch Hashem, the bakeries help us out. So we have to plan going into Chanukah. What are we going to take out of our Chanukah? So what we try to take out is that it's not just about having fun and enjoying and, well, this world is great and this donut is better than that donut. That would be losing the battle to the Yevanim. But instead, it's looking at what we have and saying, wow, I could take this and rise above. I could take this and go beyond. I could take this and shoot for something much further. I could take these 7, 8 days, these 7 years, and I could go ahead and save up and do everything that I can in order to help me when there isn't anything going on. I don't have those opportunities anymore, but I'm still able to reap the benefits of every single thing that I did now for the future. So my bracha to all of us is that we're able to go into the Chanukah, we're able to build our Bina, our Chachma, we're able to maximize every single moment of such a kadosh time, and then we're able to walk away after Chanukah when things are a little bit cold and dark, and we're able to go ahead and use everything that we gain from Chanukah to be able to continue to raise to our highest potential, and we should have a Shavua Tov.